Hello, my art-loving friends. I am Deborah Kaye, and I welcome you to Paint with a Passion. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most photogenic reindeer of all? Meet Rudolph's photobombing cousin, Bob. This is a great painting project for you and the kids or the grandkids. Here's my recipe. You can pause here to gather what you need, or just refer to the list in the description area below this video. So get all your goodies together and let's go make the magic happen as we paint with a passion. I'm painting on a primed 8x6 pressboard. You can paint on anything you like. Just make sure to prime any porous surface that you're using to protect your painting. Using a large flat brush, let's paint the top half of the canvas in dark blue. And while the dark blue is still wet, let's add light blue to the bottom half and then just slightly overlap where the dark blue is to create an ombre style background. And now, while the background is still wet, grab a clean brush and work the background until you have it blended just as much or as little as you want. Once your background is dry, let's add some magical sparkle. I'm using a fan brush and some blue extreme glitter by Folk Art. This paint has a glue type texture and appearance when it's wet, but it dries clear. And oh boy, does it look amazing once it's dry. I should give you fair warning though, you're gonna love this glitter paint. And if you love sparkles like I do, you're going to want to use it on everything. This starts to dry right away. So if you find that it's starting to get gummy, just let it all dry and then go back and touch up any spots you might have missed. Now let's draw a large triangle for the tree. I'm using a stencil, but you can use a ruler or you can just draw it freehand if you prefer. Next, let's draw on Bob, the photobombing reindeer. And let's add some snow drifts, and let's also add a sign. And I think we should add a giant snowflake. All right, let's paint in the tree's base color. I'm using leaf green and a small angled brush. Using dark brown, let's paint the tree trunk, and then let's paint the top half of Bob's face and his body. Using a lighter brown, let's paint the bottom half of Bob's face. Now, let's add a darker layer to the tree. I'm using a micro round brush and some forest green. And I'm just adding random little strokes similar to how we made the gnome's beard. All right, one more layer of green on the tree. This time I'm using billiard green. And again, I'm just adding random strokes to the right and to the left and kind of crisscrossing down the center. My dark brown definitely needs a second coat. let's apply a second coat to the lower half of Bob's face as well. And let's go ahead and paint in the cap. I decided to go with purple pizzazz because it's kind of flashy for photo bombing Bob. I think Bob needs a leg. And let's add his nose. And let's give him some cool sunglasses. And Bob's leg's definitely going to need 2 coats as well. And let's give him a light colored belly. Let's also lighten the center of his ears. And I'm going to give him a red nose. Let's draw on Bob's antlers. I want really big, exaggerated antlers. And using our super skinny fine linen brush, let's paint them in. I'm using the same color that I used for his belly and the inside of his ears. When you reload your paint for this, make sure to paint back over where you left off so you have a nice smooth transition. I've included a link in the description area below this video if you'd like to make your own super skinny fine linen brush. Let's draw on the scarf danglies. Is that even a word? Danglies? Well, it should be, so I'm going with it. I'm not sold on the sign I drew, so I erased it and we'll come back to that in a little bit. Now let's add the snowflake. And I might make this more complex later on, but for now I want to keep it simple because I don't want it to take away from the antlers. Let's add some snowdrifts. Just paint on a wavy line of white, and then using a small sponge, soften the bottom of the line, just lightly dabbing below where you painted the line. And then leave some space and repeat this to add a few more snowdrifts. This just makes me laugh. How cute is this turning out? Let's paint in Bob's cool sunglasses. I'm going with black, but gray mirrored colored glasses would probably look pretty cool too. Now let's paint in the scarf. I'm going to alternate between the purple cap color and the billiard green that I used on the tree. I'm outlining the cap in eggplant, but I think I'm going to end up outlining it in black to match the rest of the outline later on. But I'll decide when it comes time to do the rest of the outlining. Let's add the fluff to the cap. Add a thin but generous line of white paint along the bottom of the cap. Now we want to flick the paint up in a wisping motion in all various directions. I recommend you practice doing this first and get the feel of it. And a super handy tip is to varnish the area first, so then you can easily erase it if you need. And just make sure that the varnish is dry before you try to add the white. You can also add a little bit of the base color in between the fluff if the white gets too clumped up. Using a blending brush, let's soften the line where the band meets the fluff. I'm using a custom blending brush that I made. I just trimmed down the bristle length to about 1/4 inch, and voila. And you know what? It keeps getting better the more you use it, so really handy. Just add some white paint and then blot it off and then dab it along the outer edge of the trim. Next, let's add a small dot of white to the tip of the cap, and then in a roundish motion going all one direction, wisp the paint out all the way around. And let's paint in Bob's hoof. Now get out your dotting tools and lots of colors, and let's add some bulbs to that Christmas tree. And just make sure to wipe your dotting tools clean before you start in on a new color. I decided to go ahead and expand on the snowflake because, well, I just can't help myself, and I don't think it's going to take away from the antlers. All right, let's draw on our sign. Again! I know, I drew this darn sign about 5 times, and I finally decided to go with a straight up and down sign. I wanted it slanted, but it just didn't look right with Photobombing Bob coming in at a slant. And let's add some fringe to the scarf danglies. I decided to change the tree topper color to silver, and then using the smallest, most pointy dotting tool I have, I dragged tails of paint from the center of the bulb outward into sort of a bursting star. Now, Unfortunately, I didn't capture this on video, so I made a quick tutorial within a tutorial to show you how I did it. Start with a large center dot and then picture a clock and add a tail at every 15-minute mark. And then add another tail in between those marks. And then just keep going until you have it as full as you want it. Does this make sense? I think it does. I'm going with it. Now, using our light brown, let's paint in the sign. It's definitely going to need 2 coats. Using our super skinny fine line brushes, let's outline Bob's body and cap and also the scarf. And when you outline his leg, extend the lines up a little bit into the body area. Let's add the message to our sign. And while we have the white handy, let's also add reflections to Bob's sunglasses, his nose, and then also to each of the ornaments. And we also need to outline the sign. I decided to add a little more detail to the snowflake, and also, while nobody was looking, I added a few more ornaments to the tree. Make sure all of your dots and all of your paint is dry. Make sure to erase all the chalk lines. And then it's time to varnish. I'm using a sponge roller and Duraclear satin. Now, I always say that using the sponge roller is the best way to varnish a flat surface, and I still haven't changed my mind, so I totally recommend it. Just make sure that you wash out your roller as soon as you're finished. And here we have it, folks. Bob, the photobombing reindeer. Have a cool Yule, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to painting again together real soon. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and if you want to know as soon as I have another video up, hit that notification button. Stay tuned for more Christmas-themed tutorials. I wish you peace, love, and happiness now and always.